Video. Sandra and I love going to Nashville and playing tourists. Are you excited for the Country Music Hall of Fame?
I'm so excited.
What was it, British?
British.
Is that a British accent?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, same difference. You might as well just went the other way. It's on the other. Oh, there's the pool. We got a room at the Drury Inn. I think Drury Inn is a really great deal. It's the same chain that Timmy and I stayed at when we went to the mountain. We said that we're officially old because we didn't come get in the pool last night. We just laid in the bed. At like 8:30, we were done.
It was done.
It was peace out. One thing that we like to do in Nashville is go and find murals, so we were really excited to find these inside there, and they were made by local kids.
What you think about that?
I think it's beautiful.
I think it's amazing.
Look, this says, "I am not a princess." Like, these little kids wrote these things, and they made it out of their artwork.
That's really neat.
Yeah. I think they're song lyrics.
Feel no shame. I'm proud of where I came from.
I
Was born and raised in them docks.
So as I said earlier, it is the Country Music Hall of Fame, and as I'm sure you would expect, they are playing country music throughout. So that is copyrighted material, so I can't really play much audio from our time here, but I thought I would do just a voiceover, maybe add some music of my own in spots, and just tell you a little bit about the place. First of all, it's massive. You could tell from the outside that it's big, but you just have no idea how huge this place is on the inside. And they have so much memorabilia. Like you can see here, this was an exhibit on Martina McBride. They had everything from her childhood toys to her wedding dress, costumes from her tours, just everything you can imagine. They had, so you can see the toys and her little carriage and everything from when she was a kid. It was really neat to look at and to read all the different things, like her high school yearbook. They had all of her awards here, and just different stories from different times in her life. And then when you are first going through, it kind of starts way back at the beginning of country music, which I find really interesting. So you can read all about the roots of country music and how it got started. These are costumes and, well, not costumes, but wardrobe from the early days of country music. And it has instruments that they actually played, and it's just really, really neat. How the West was sung. Some of you may remember back in the day when Minnie Pearl was on TV all the time. I actually met her once and got her autograph. She was really a character.
Why do you think it was hip-hop?
Something that caught Sandra and I both by surprise was the amount of Elvis Presley things that they had here at the Country Music Hall of Fame. And I immediately was kind of sad that I didn't ever take Timmy there, because look at this. This is Elvis Presley's Cadillac. He would have loved this so much, and I just stood and stared at all of it for quite a while and just took it all in. This was his gold-plated Cadillac, and they had the doors open on one side where you can see into it, and I don't know, I just sat and stared at it, as I said. The amount of gold records that they have in this place will kind of blow your mind. This is just the beginning of it. And of course, I was looking for the Elvis records, and I was just amazed at how many of them there were. So many gold records. It was just the coolest thing to see. Another cool thing to see was this exhibit from Hee Haw. I remember being a kid and this being on TV and my parents watching it and just thinking it was the corniest thing. But, you know, now that I think back about it, it was actually pretty cool and just some like wholesome entertainment, family entertainment, I guess you could say. And yeah, I kind of miss seeing things like this on TV. But here's all their little outfits that they wore. There's Grandpa Jones, and you saw Minnie Pearls earlier. But here's some information about Hee Haw. I thought it was really cool how they had the corn stalks in there with their little outfits and stuff. And then they also had a little seating area where you could sit and watch this film with all these old commercials and TV shows and things like that. So I highly recommend watching that if you go through there. So now we were getting into the part of country music from when I was a kid, the songs that I remember my parents listening to, you know, the Judds, Ricky Skaggs, Reba McEntire. Garth Brooks become big when I was in middle school. I'll never forget Friends in Low Places. We would sing that on the school bus. The whole bus would be singing it. And Sandra and I actually went to a Garth Brooks concert, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and it was really, really good. Alabama was a big thing in my house when I was a kid. I remember my parents listening to Alabama all the time. There's some info here on Charlie Daniels, and they had a huge exhibit on Chris Stapleton, and I'm a big fan of Chris Stapleton. I think he has an amazing voice. I'd love to see him in concert. Another thing I remember my parents watching is Smokey and the Bandit. Here is the actual car from the show. I thought that was really cool. So when you buy your tickets to the Country Music Hall of Fame, you also have the option of doing the Studio B tour, which actually is located a little ways away. You have to take a little tour bus to get there, and I did not realize how cool this was going to be. And again, it was something that I wish I had taken Timmy to once we got there, because so much of it was about Elvis Presley, because he recorded so much of his music there.
January 1956, because that's when Elvis recorded his very first song here in Nashville.
If you ever go do this tour, I hope you have the tour guide that we had, because he was so good at his job and he knew so many facts about the studio and especially about Elvis and his time there. And it was just so cool to hear, and I just took it all in, and just, you know, I just wanted to believe that Timmy was there and getting to experience that with me. So the studio is actually pretty tiny. It's not that big of a place. You enter into that little lobby that I showed you just a few minutes ago. Then you go down this hallway and you can see all this equipment that they use to record music. This actually is still a working studio, believe it or not. I think that's really cool. So you go back here into this back room, and this is actually where the music is made. This is, I guess you call it a sound room. And Elvis Presley stood in this spot that I'm standing in right now and recorded music. They said he liked to record late at night, and he liked to record with the lights out, which I thought was very interesting.
Became so frustrated, he eventually kicked the cabinet that was holding it. But he had a black belt in karate.
He was telling us a story about Elvis getting frustrated and kicking this cabinet that's there and broke the door on it, and it's still there today. We all got to take turns sitting at this Steinway piano. It's a piano that Elvis actually sat at and played. It was very cool. I really liked doing that. After the tour, they took us back to the Country Music Hall of Fame, and we got to finish up our tour there because we didn't actually have time to do it before. They had a few interactive things that you could kind of play around with. I liked this one here where you got to flip it over if you knew what the words to the actual song was. Of course, I did know the Elvis ones especially. They had this little kind of like fake Taylor Swift bus set up, and you could go inside, and they had little booths you can go in to do like sort of like karaoke. One thing that I loved the most was going in here and seeing all of the Hall of Fame plaques. And I like how it has on here, will the circle be unbroken? It's got it in the floor here. It was just really neat to stand in there and see all of this. I will say there weren't as many as I thought there would be. Of course, we looked for our favorites. I was struck at the actual pictures that were on the plaques because a lot of them didn't really look anything like the person that it was supposed to be. Some of them were good, but then others were just, I don't know, very odd. Like Elvis's, for instance, this just, yeah, didn't look anything like him to me. I didn't think Alan Jackson's looked great either. He looks like a very old man. It just seems weird to me. It looks like they would be more accurate looking. But regardless, if you're a country music fan, it is so cool to see country music history like this. And this one was Dolly Parton's. We are big Dolly fans, and we thought it was odd that there really wasn't anything that we could find other than that about Dolly Parton at the Country Music Hall of Fame. So I don't know if maybe she doesn't allow them to have stuff there, or I don't know. I have no idea, but I just thought it was really odd because she's such a big part of country music. Country Music Hall of Fame is really cool. I really like it here. It's nice looking at all the old stuff and all the memorabilia. I really enjoyed it. Of course, when you get to the end, they have a couple of big gift shops with all the things. You're nutty. Downtown Nashville is a whole experience. Much better during the day if you're not into the whole like club scene. It's just so fun walking around down there. This trolley right here is one where you can do like a hop on, hop off kind of situation. You just buy a ticket and then you can get on and off at all the local tourist destinations. I absolutely love this mural here at Legends Corner. Has all the great country music singers on there. So we were just walking around down here. We were actually going to get some lunch. It's like a shopping and dining destination. This right here is the Ryman, if you've never seen it. This is like country music history right here. This is cool.
Yeah. They have something similar to this in Vegas.
Fun fact, I'm afraid of escalators. So as you can see from the sign, this is called Assembly Food Hall, and it is massive. It has all kinds of different restaurants that you can choose from. A lot of them are like famous Nashville restaurants, and they all came together into this one place, and you can try them out. We really loved it. It, of course, is super busy, and the lines can be long, but one good thing about it is if you're coming with a bunch of people, everybody can choose a different spot. They don't have to eat at the same place.
Crepes. Oh, yeah. The crepes.
Sandra and I split this crepe, and it was as amazing as it looks. So good. So we actually went to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum as well, but I'm going to put this in a different video because this is already getting long and it's already getting late, and I'm trying to get this video up for you guys. So I'm going to save this part to put in another video. All right, friends, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments what you think of travel vlogs. So the next trips I plan on taking are both in October. I have 2 scheduled for October, and I'm really excited about both of those. It's coming up really quickly. You may remember right after Timmy passed away, one of the things that I talked about was that we had planned on going to Disney again in October. And I had already paid almost every bit of that trip off, and I paid it in Disney gift cards on the website in payments. And when you do that, they won't refund you the money in cash. So I couldn't get cash back to use for other things. It was going to have to be used Disney related. And I really wasn't feeling going to Disney World because that was just what I was planning on doing with Timmy. And I just felt like I would get there and be extra sad. And the last trip that I took there was with Timmy. He really loved it. He loved every minute of it. I'm so thankful that I got to take him there. It was a really, really great trip. He enjoyed being there with my family, and he had the best time. So I was trying to decide what to do with that Disney money because I canceled the trip, and they put it back on the gift card, and I got to thinking that I could go do something else that I have always wanted to do. Timmy and I were not able to do together because of his dialysis, and that was to go on a cruise. I've been on a cruise once before with my mom. We went on a Carnival cruise in 2014. It was the same year Timmy had his heart attack. We went in the summer, and he had his heart attack in November. But anyway, I looked on the Disney Cruise Line website, and Disney cruises are very expensive. I'll go ahead and tell you that. But I looked on there, and I had enough from what I got back from the trip that I canceled to cover the cruise for October. So my friend and I are going, and this is something that she and I have done since we were younger, and that is traveling together because, well, for one, we have the best time traveling together, but also we can share expenses. You know, we drive down there, we split the gas, or if we rent a car, we split the rental car, we split hotel rooms, we split all the things, and it makes it more affordable. So we're going on this trip together. I had to get I didn't have to get a passport, but I needed to get a passport because if you miss the ship at one of these places, you're kind of in a pickle. So I got a passport. I'd never had a passport before, so I was super excited about getting that. And yeah, so we're going in October, and I always wanted to go on a Disney cruise, but I never would because they were so pricey. And I don't know, it just worked out that I had enough from that refund to pay for my part. So, you know, doing things like this, fun things, is bittersweet because naturally I think, you know, Timmy would have enjoyed this, Timmy would have liked this, but I believe that, you know, if he can see me, he will love that I'm doing things that make me happy. and the things that he wanted to do but wasn't able to do. And that's another reason why I try to get out and live life, because he wasn't able to do it, and there are so many other people who aren't able to, and I don't want to take for granted the blessing that I have to be able to move my body and to get out and to do things that some people aren't able to do. And it's a privilege to be able to get out and leave my house, because there are people who can't. There's some of you who may not be able to, and I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. So I want to live as much life as I can live. I don't want to have any regrets. Anyway, I hope you guys see what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. This beach trip that I just shared with you was bittersweet. I did good for the most part. My friend Kristen kept me busy, and I did have a little moment at the beach where I was just thinking about, you may remember that I wanted to take Timmy back to the beach this year, because when I took him last year, it was too cold for him. You know, with his blood thinner, he's cold anyway, and it was chilly for me, and it was too cold to get into the water, especially because it was like the very end of January. So we had talked about it, and he wanted to go back when it was warmer, and I was going to rent him one of those beach wheelchairs and take him out there and let him put his feet in the water and, you know, all of that, and it didn't happen. So I remember I had Kristen, because I tried to write our names in the sand and I couldn't do it. So Kristen did it for me. She did a really good job. She wrote Stephanie and Timmy in there, and I just I looked at that, and the water came up and washed it away, and I had a little moment after that. I wish I'd have got to, I wish I'd have had the chance to take him back, and that he'd have got to really experience the beach. But I felt like he was there with me. So, I think it's gonna be this way forever. Anytime I do anything. I saw this quote, this little picture like you see on Instagram all the time, and it said, had a picture of a girl sitting, and she was looking up at a full moon, and it basically said, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'll always think that you should still be here. And that is so very true. So very true. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'm praying for you, and I thank you for praying for me. I'll see you in the next video.